Hello everyone, my name is the Chemist77 and welcome to episode 3 of Farming Minecraft. Today we are going to be building an iron farm way out over that way, just over the hill, and I will explain why when we get over there, because it's pretty cool. But before I do, I did a stream the other day and we got some fun things on there, so I'm just going to pop some little highlights in here just so you can see what we got up to. Catch you in a bit. Let's just, you know what? Let's just go for it. Hey, efficiency 4. No silk touch or fortune, but I will take an unbreaking 3 efficiency 4 pickaxe. Oh, I completely forgot that you can find a lays here as well. Ah, how many have we got? We got 2. Oh, that's a good sign. Finally. And it took me an hour and 5,000 blocks on the x-axis. Oh, now that's cool. Let's see where this leads. Oh, wait a second. Want to be careful. Oh, this is cool. Oh my word, there's a fortress right here as well. Oh, that's a jungle. Haha, let's go. That's 2 out of 3 biomes we're after. Look at this shipwreck. This isn't even a ship, this is just a beached ship. And I gotta get a picture of this. Oh. Oh. Okay, we're fine. Things fine. There's the one. Okay, before I go in here, I'm gonna get rid of stuff that I don't need. I guess I don't necessarily need the okay. Yeah, there's clearly a cave around here as well. I can hear. No. Over on here. Oh, a flame book. And some gunpowder. Gunpowder. Terrible book. Another golden apple. Emerald. I just bones in. Don't need bones. Hey, that's nice. 3 diamonds. Take 3 diamonds. Find a goat horn. Oh, I forgot. I completely forgot you can find them in here. Oh, a jungle temple. Yeah. Got, oh, a Sweeping Edge 3 book. Yeah, a bit of bamboo and some gold. Jungle temple. Temple? Yes, it's a jungle temple. In, out. Oh, another diamond. Let's go. Wow, this is the smallest dark oak forest ever, but found one. Finally. Hey, oh wow, 3 more diamonds. Nice. Oh no, I don't have the inventory space. Okay, and with all that done, and hopefully you're all caught up, we can get on with the iron farm. I have all my bits and bobs needed to do that here. As with the villager breeder design yesterday, this is by Logical Geek Boy, although I've tweaked it slightly so I can filter the iron and the poppies and then bone meal all the poppies. So, just before we get started though, I have in here an unenchanted diamond pickaxe and a bow, and I'd really like to enchant them. Now the next thing we have on our pickaxe here is Fortune 3, and as I think you will have seen in the montage from the stream, we have an efficiency 4 unbreaking 3 diamond pickaxe here. If we can get Fortune 3 and unbreaking efficiency 4 on it, I would be very happy. Let's see. Yes, that's very nice. That's very nice. And whilst we're here, I've got 32 levels because I did a bit of quartz mining in the nether because I needed some quartz for the comparators. So we'll see what we've got on there. We've got a flame. I actually have a flame book. I don't really need flame. Looting 3 again. I have a looting 3 book. Don't need that. Do I have anything else I could enchant? I'll grab that hoe to see what's on our tool enchantments. Efficiency 4. Riptide 3. Riptide 3 would be quite nice. I think I'd prefer loyalty though. So I'll tell you what. We've got 32 levels, so I'm just gonna do a little dummy enchant on our bow. Disenchant it and then see what else we've got now. Unbreaking 3. Okay, let's... It's risky, but if we get power 4... Punch 1. I mean, we've got infinity and we've got flame. I don't know. I'm actually going to disenchant that. We've only got 29 levels now. Let's see what's on that scaffolding. Can't enchant that. Unbreaking 3 again. Maybe we'll see what we get later today if we get some more XP. So, but I think for now, 19 versus 11, definitely going to take 11. We're going to get that. Fortune 3, Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3. Very, very nice. And just like that, we're getting up. Just out of interest, what did we get on our sword? Smite 4, yeah, nothing really interesting there. Okay, so let's pick up our stuff and head over to where we're going to build the iron farm. Okay, and we're here where we're going to build the iron farm. Now you may recognize this area slightly. Over that way is our starter house and the village, and this is around spawn. Now, this is very important because of a group of chunks called the spawn chunks. Now, if you don't know, the Minecraft world is split up into groups or columns that are known as chunks. So probably easier to show you. So if I press F3 and G, this will bring up this little box. Now these are chunk borders. So a chunk is a 16 by 16 column of blocks that runs all the way up and down, and then these columns are separated into sub-chunks, which are 16 high. So you can sort of see here, this blue line that goes across, that is the border, or the vertical border of a sub-chunk. And so if we move into the next one, this is the next chunk. And so the Minecraft world is composed of these 16 by 16 chunks. Now, around spawn, there are a set of very special chunks, which if I press another hotkey, there it is. These chunks here are known as the spawn chunks. So if I pop into free camera here, you can get a bit of a better look at it. Now, these are very special because these chunks are always loaded by the world. So regardless of your render distance, regardless of where you are in the world, these chunks are always loaded. It does not mean they're always generated. So generating and loading is slightly different. So loading means that the game is processing them, but generating means there's actual physical blocks here. So these chunks are always loaded. And you can see in this overlay that I've got, so this is part of the mini HUD mod, there are 3 different sort of colors, ranges, expanding out from spawn, which is this little green block just here. Now, if I sleep real quick, I will explain what each of these boxes are. So, first of all, this outer set, this sort of browny orangey color, these are the chunks that are always loaded. So every single chunk within this sort of orangey brown boundary is always loaded by the game. I can't exactly remember which what dimension this is, but I might put it on screen in editing if I remember. Then we get to this red border here, which I believe is 21 by 21 chunks. Within this red border, so anything here this way towards that little green box down there, any redstone basically will be loaded. So, and it will be ticked. So redstone ticks will be in effect. So ticks is sort of essentially how the games run. There are 20 ticks per second. And each tick, the game will update certain parts of the world. So whether that's redstone, whether that's entities, so any like sheep, cows, villagers, zombies, etc. Things like that. There'll be so random ticks, which I'll get into at some point. Anything within this red box will be ticked. And then we have this green box here. Within this green box, entities will be loaded and ticked. So within this red box, there'll be redstone ticks. So any redstone contraptions will still work. Within this green box, all entities will be ticked. So all of these sheep and stuff will always be loaded, assuming that they don't despawn. So that's how the spawn chunks work. And this green box is where we're going to build our iron farm. Because the iron farm that I'm using will run off a panicking mechanic. So when villagers get scared, they panic and decide to summon an iron golem, and then we're going to flush this iron golem into lava and kill them, and it will drop the iron and some poppies. Of course, for that to work, there needs to be villagers loaded, and there needs to be, in this case, a zombie loaded to cause the villagers to panic. And so we want to build it in here because that's where those entities are always going to be loaded and ticked. So if we built it anywhere outside of this green box, if we got too far away, then the game would unload them and our iron farm will stop working. So this way, by building it in these spawn chunks, our iron farm will always be loaded and will always be producing iron unless we turn it off. Now, if you can probably hear now, I have got some villagers moved over. This took a horrendous amount of time. There's 6 of them there, and they're being rather loud. Let's turn their sounds down. Where's friendly creatures? There they are. And so these villagers here, we're going to use to build an iron farm. And to help with that, we're going to use another mod called Litematica. If I pull up the config menu here, if I go into load of schematics, I'm going to select, as you can see, I've got a few different schematics in here for various different farms. The one we want here is filtered iron farm. So this is Logic's iron farm, which is this schematic here. But I've changed it slightly and added an item filter in. Now, if we select our iron farm and go into material list, I can see all of the items that I'll need to build this farm. And it'll tell me how many I need total, how many are placed in the world, or in this case, how many aren't placed in the world rather, and how many I've got in my inventory. Now, see here, light grey beds. So I don't have them. Instead I've got white wool and some planks that I'm going to use to make beds. And I've only got 2 water buckets instead of 3, so I'll make an infinite water source and then use that. Anyway, if we go back into here, into load schematics, and then hit this, if we, instead of material list, we hit load schematic, we can see that it now places in the world. And I can change this how I want. So again, if I go in this case into schematic placements, I can then go into configure. I can say I want to rotate it clockwise 90 degrees. We now can't see it, which is unfortunate, but we can do this. And then what we can do is, again, I can adjust this and make sure it's in the spawn chunks. And so I'm just going to move it this way a bit. Let's go like that. Now, before I start building this, let's get rid of our spawn chunks. I need to make sure that where the villagers are, which is going to be on top of these beds here, I need to make sure that that air block is at least 6 blocks from the ground and at least 8 blocks from any ground either side. And that's because of the spawning range of iron golems. So villagers will spawn an iron golem within a 17 by 17 by 13 box centered on the villager. That's 8 blocks out in any direction and then 6 blocks up or down. So here the 8 blocks is fine. But what I'm going to do is go into our schematic placements. I'm going to put it so the bed is in the ground, which I think is about there-ish. And I can come out and check if I want. I'm actually going to put it in line with this block, or with these blocks here, just to make sure. So let's pop it up, and then I'm going to put it up 6 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so that should be out of range of any spawning blocks. However, I am just gonna pop it up just a couple more, actually just 1 more, just to make sure that we are definitely out of range and that iron golems won't spawn in any of the surrounding terrain. So these blocks here, these aren't actually in the world. So this is what Litematica does, is you can create a farm in a single player world, and then you can put an area selection box around, and once you've done that, you can create a schematic, so you can load it in other worlds like this. Of course, these blocks aren't actually here, but it shows you where to place the blocks, and it's very useful when it comes to more complicated redstone contraptions, where you need to see, what delay a repeater is on, what direction an observer is facing. It's very handy for that. and we'll see a bit more as we build this up. So another thing that I can do is if I press another set of hotkeys, I can set it to, you'll see it says in the bottom right there, set layer mode to, so that one says all, and this is single layer. Now if I use my arrow keys, you can see that Y value is going up, and if I get it to a high enough Y value, which is very annoying because it starts at 0, then there we go. What we can do is I can select the range of blocks that I want to place blocks down for. Like that. So, these two walls here are the first for the farm. So, we're going to place those down first. So, I've got some scaffolding here. And actually, before I do anything, let's just pop a load of stuff into this chest here. And yep, that seems good. And so now what we can do, now you'll see if I actually get the walls out. First of all, you'll see in the top right of my screen, I can't actually point there because if I go into chat it disappears, but in the top right hand side of my screen, you'll see where it says schematic. And so that's telling me what block needs to be there, or like what block is there in the schematic. So we can see it says cobble deep slate wall, so that's what I've got. Now, I can pick block it. So if you don't know what pick block is, if you middle mouse click, if you've got a block on your inventory, it'll automatically switch to that. But what I can't do, you can see my shield going there, is I can't place it straight away. So what I'm going to do instead here is build up some scaffolding, and then I can place them on the scaffolding. If I come down, break scaffolding, then our walls are there. So we can continue to build this up layer by layer. So now what do I need? I need white stained glass. First of all though, I need to sleep. And so I once again get my scaffolding out. I can get my white stained glass, and I can place that down using the Tweakery flexible block placement, which allows me to place blocks diagonally, just like that. You can see we've got water there. Unfortunately, fluids don't like show up in Litematica, as in the top right. You can just about see them quite well though. So what I'm going to do is just make a little infinite water source here. So we'll put one there and one there. And then if we go back up here, we can put our water source in there and that will flow. Now what this will do is, I don't know if we'll show it. Okay, no, it won't quite do it like that. But if I pop up another level and place the blocks just there like that. I'm not touching the keyboard here. Because of the nature of the flowing water and the wall and that block there, it's causing me to bounce up and down. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have a zombie in here. If I go into our all mode, there's going to be a zombie in here, and that's going to bounce up and down, which is going to constantly break line of sight to these villagers here. Now that is important because for Iron Golem to spawn, a villager needs to have slept within the last 20 minutes. And it can't sleep if it's panicked. So that brief moment when the zombie's line of sight is broken with the villagers, they can sleep. And they can sleep in their bed for a split second before they see the zombie again and they'll panic. So I'm going to build up a little bit more of this, and I will see you for the next step. Okay, so we've built up just a little bit of the farm. There's not much more done. And as the sun there is setting and the moon is rising, I'm not going to sleep because I need a zombie. So it's round about now. We're going to pop the zombie in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get one to follow us up here. We're going to run underneath this trapdoor, but the zombie, because it's too tall, should get stuck. And then all we need to do is get rid of this block and it will fall into the water. And then we can name tag it to stop it despawning. I've got the name tag Silence Me because I have a data pack on which this one right here. Once I name it Silence Me, it will make it make no sound. So all I need to do is find a zombie, which I'm hoping shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, someone's come up at least. So now, yep, he should stop there because he's too tall and gets stuck underneath that trapdoor. And now, ouch, all we should need to do is drop him in there. And then get rid of that. And then the last thing that we want to do is just pop a block over his head so he doesn't burn when it's daytime. Anyway, I'm now going to not land in the water and sleep. And we can continue building the farm once I have dealt with these dudes. Okay, so I've got a little bit more of the farm built up. You can see we've got our iron farm here and our spawning platforms, as well as hopper lines. And now it's time to get the villages in place. So I've got this rail line up here. And this goes on here, and we're making use of activator rails here. Now what activator rails do is when they're powered, a minecart goes over the top of it, any entity that's in the minecart will get ejected to the right. If there's no solid block to the right, only then will it eject to the left, I think. But sometimes it can be a bit weird. So I always make sure that when I'm using these, it ejects to the right. So for these beds over here, I'm just going to bring the rail around like this. And so what we've got here, we've got a glass pane. This is a transparent block so the villagers don't take damage as they go through. But it will keep them trapped on this block until it's nighttime and they need to sleep. In which case they'll sleep in this bed, and then I'll put the last wall just here and that will trap them along with these blocks here. So all I've got to do now is push all the villagers up, eject them into these little pods one by one, and then move around to the other side. So I'll see you once I've done that. Okay, and that is now the spawning platforms complete. So you can see we've just got some walls and some water pushing it into some lava. Now, before we start this up, we can do a quick little check in here. So if we go into our schematic placement and we go down here, we can go schematic verify. And if we hit start verification, it'll tell us what's wrong. Okay, so here, Bruce Plank sticky pistons, that's these here. That's just because these are extended rather than in the wrong place. So you can see that here, wrong states. It's expected extended false, and it's found extended true. And the same with the lever, and the same with these hoppers. Now what we can do if we want is we can click on this, and then if we come out, it'll highlight what is wrong. So you can see it says here, these are wrong. I'm not actually quite sure why these are wrong. I think it's possibly because there should be stuff in here. No, maybe not. I don't know why these are wrong. But anyway. It's fine. It'll work. And last thing to do is we can configure our filters. So we can pop Poppy in here. We need to make sure this is, of course, above the composter. Let me turn our rendering, or let's remove that placement. So, and we need to make sure that it's these hoppers here that are pointing into these comparators that are the filter. So I've got some renamed sticks, and we'll just pop some more in there. So I don't actually have enough iron. I've used my very last bit of iron to make all the hoppers and stuff. So it shouldn't matter. We should be able to fill in the hoppers here. And yeah, fill in the poppies, and then any iron will just overflow into here. And we'll filter down into these chests. The poppies will get sent through here into the composter. They'll get bone mailed and come out here. Actually, this villager seems to have bound to this composter, which is very amusing. Anyway, I can now turn this on, and what we should see, there we go, is iron golems spawning. So what's happening here, over the sound, is that, let's turn this down a bit. What's happening here is the villagers get scared by the zombie, and because they're in panic mode, they can't detect that there's a golem around them, nor has a villager near them spawned a golem, so they'll spawn an iron golem. Now, I believe it's a 30-second cooldown on iron golem spawning for villagers, and once 30 seconds has gone by and no villager has detected any iron golems or any villagers that have spawned iron golems, then they'll spawn another. So sometimes you'll get both, like we did just there, 2 iron golems spawning. Sometimes only one side will spawn a golem. There you go, we've got both again. But because this is in the spawn chunk, so if I bring those back up again, these entities will constantly be loaded, and the game will constantly register what they're doing. So, and this zombie as an entity will also be loaded, and so this will constantly be working. Even if I go and build a sugarcane farm back over by my starter base, which is definitely 128 blocks away. But yeah, so what we'll do, we'll go build a sugarcane farm, and then at the end we will come and see what we've got. So I'm just going to chuck some stuff out here, pick up what I actually want to pick up. I kind of want that bow. I don't need the arrows. Ah, that's a problem. It would appear that I've not built this far enough away. So what I want to do is, I'm pretty sure it's this villager here. I'm just going to hang around here a bit more just to make sure that there aren't any more spawning issues. Turn the shape off, and yeah. But once I have made sure it's all working properly, we can go build a sugarcane farm. Hello, horse. Okay, so believe it or not, this should be all we need to build a sugarcane farm. So we're going to grab this and find a place to build. I did have to head over to the iron farm a few times to get enough iron for the hoppers and the pistons. But even whilst we're building this over here, it should still work. The iron farm, that is. Okay, and here we go. A sugarcane farm. It's a reasonably simple design. Probably similar to the time before. Basically, our sugarcane will grow up, and then as soon as it hits that observer, it triggers the pistons. And yeah, they're working just like that. Again, same on this side. And this is utilizing mud blocks here, so mud blocks are less than a block tall. You can sort of see, you go up and down. If I face this piston, If I set my hand off the mouse, if I move to the right onto the grass block, see, just move up about a pixel. And so what that means is that hoppers can actually pick up items through mud blocks. If I throw this carrot here, see, gets picked up by the hopper, as has various other blocks. I'm going to put some glass around here just to stop any stray bits of sugarcane flying out the front. But I need some more emeralds to do that to trade with my librarian over there. I've also just realised I forgot to hit record on replay mode. That was supposed to be a time lapse for you, but I guess it wouldn't have been. So very sorry about that. But yeah, I guess a sugarcane farm is a sugarcane farm. Reasonably simple design. So probably not missing out on too much. Anyway, I'm going to sleep. And then we're going to go have a little peek at our iron farm. See how that's working. Okay, so back over our iron farm. There we go, there's a stack and 11 there. And just under a stack there. So yeah. So you can see there's been slightly a few more golems on this side than that side. It doesn't spawn 2 at a time every time. Yeah. That will do it for today. I think in between episodes I'll try and get a nice little house type thing set up around here. Make sure it's all proof so we don't get any iron golems spawning on the house. And yeah. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be doing next episode, so you'll have to wait and see. Maybe a mob farm, maybe start on a trading hall. But yeah. We got some good stuff done this episode. We got our pick upgraded to efficiency 5, fortune 3 and breaking 3. Very nice. We got this lovely iron farm done. There goes one on that side. And we got a little sugarcane farm done. And again, I'll pop some glass around that in between episodes. But that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.